Hey, good morning, friend. It's day 68, and I am still suffering from a neck hernia, which is still hurting a lot. But here we are. It is 5:26 in the morning, and I'm about to go out for my morning walk, which I'm doing instead of my mobility, core, and HIIT trainings in the morning, because I'm not allowed to put any compression or allowed to compress my neck in any way. But thanks for joining. And before I go on my walk, started to do this little chat because I can't film the walk like I film my home training because it's too dark outside, so you can't really see anything, and I can't hold up the camera for an extended period of time because it hurts. So let's chat a little bit before I go out and before you start your day, or maybe you're ending your day. Let me know in the chat, how are you this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. Share a message in the chat, say hi. Let me know how you're doing. I'm doing well. I slept well, slightly under 8 hours. As you'll know, sleep is important to me. I try to sleep about 8 hours a night. I go to bed early. I wake up early, and I've been hitting the mark around the 8 hour quite consistently for the last 3 to 4 weeks. I'm really happy about that. I also feel quite good and rested. So this is a good cadence. I hope it'll stick over the long run. But my sleep cycle tends to change depending on when the sun goes up, when the sun goes down. The season maybe plays a role in that. I find it harder to go to sleep early, especially during summer. But during winter, it's been quite good. And now heading into spring, so let's see if we can keep it up. This hernia update keeps hurting tremendously. The pain doesn't spread down to my hand anymore, so it comes down to about my elbow, which I think is an improvement. But I'll find out on Tuesday when I see the physiotherapist again. Let's hope that it goes away, because I wouldn't want to be stuck with this pain and this level of pain for an extended period of time. Just the prospect of it is horrible. But it's getting better just early in the morning after sleeping, resting. Probably blood flow is restricted, muscles are not working as well as they should be. They're a bit tight, maybe. Sitting up really hurts. Bending over the wash basin to pick up my toothbrush really hurts, or bending over to pick up my glasses before I put in my lenses really hurts. There are a lot of things that really hurt. I don't know, have you ever had any chronic pain or constant pain or just severe pain? Let me know. Maybe you empathize. Maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe you want me to just move on and talk about other things. But it goes to show that health is wealth, right? And that if you are in this kind of pain or debilitating pain, I can see better why it is also hard to go out and do some things and enjoy life and be present in the life of your children. It consumes a lot of mind space, so to speak. But here we are, have the prospect of it going away, for which I'm very grateful. And the painkillers, paracetamol helps, ibuprofen helps, probably helps for a couple of hours, but not all through the night. So at 1 or 2 in the morning, if I wake up and I sit up, oh boy, it hurts. But that will pass as well. How did I sleep? We talked about that. I slept good, and I slept the number of hours that I wanted to sleep, which is a good thing. Now that we're here and we have some more time to talk about things, why don't we talk about what I consider when I assess my health? Because health can mean many things to many different people. So when I talk about my health, I talk about financial health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, and social health. Let me break those categories down very, very briefly for you, and this might give you a bit more insight into me and why I do my morning exercise and mobility, but also how I've tried to build and structure my life to be healthy in many different ways. So when we talk about financial health, I talk about having a steady income. If that's the case or not, the answer has been yes for a very long time. Whether I have an emergency fund, so money saved up just in case something goes wrong and I need cash on hand immediately. This is probably one of the biggest detractors of a sense of security, because things break in life, whether it's a car or a washing machine or a roof. And I can tell you right now, the emergency fund is low because we've to do a lot of emergency repairs on the house we live in, but it's going to be full again in a couple of months. I'm not too worried about it because we have that steady stream of income, but it was good to have that money on hand when we needed to plug some literal leaks in and around the house. And then there's my savings and there are my investments, right? And over the course of my life, I compare my financial situation 10 years ago to today, I am now in a what I would call comfortable position. So financial health is how I would assess it with those 4 points. Physical health, how I'm sleeping, what is my strength, what's my endurance, what's my stability, what's my nutrition like. I would probably add with some recent insights, what's my gut microbiome, but I have no way of personally assessing that. But I've understood that next to sleep and then nutrition and then exercise, the composition of your gut microbiome has apparently a big impact on how healthy you are. So that's why I always talk about why I sleep. That's why I try to do strength and endurance training and mobility and stability training. And that's why I mind my food. Yesterday's short, one of the shorts I published yesterday, it's a bit disconcerting that a picture of a bowl of tomatoes has a better click-through rate than my face. But I try to start off the day with about 200 grams of vegetables just before breakfast, just to make sure, just same as exercise, to make sure that I actually get those nutrients in before anything else, because done is done. If I do it first thing in the morning, I don't have to worry about it that much. Throughout the day, everything else just is extra. What about my mental health? Well, when it comes to things like my mood and my temper and my patience and my focus, weather has a big impact on my mood. I can be very honest about it. That's why we try to go on a sun holiday, specifically in December every year, because those 1 to 2 weeks of sunshine have a huge impact on how I feel after when we come back. What's my temper? Am I irritable or am I patient? Am I understanding? Am I able to zoom out of the situation, detach emotionally, and kind of be rational or principled about issues that I face? That has a lot to do with sleep and stress as well, right? And am I able to focus on things that I want to focus on? Usually when I'm sleep deprived or when I have big worries, it's very difficult to focus on the things that are right in front of me. So those are like 4 gauges I use to understand how my mental health is. To talk about my emotional health, do I get care? Do I give care? Do I feel appreciated? Do I appreciate others? Am I calm or am I restless? Most of the days I'm pretty calm, and I think I live in a pretty nurturing environment, both give and take, where we support each other, we appreciate each other, we help each other, try to achieve the things we want to achieve in life, and that's a very pleasant emotional environment to live in. And there are stress factors. There are people you care about that are, that have things going on in their life, and that's completely fine. There are things that go on in my life. There are ups and downs, but overall the environment's pretty good. Then, my social health, do I connect with the people I care about, I guess would be the main question there. Now, obviously, my wife and children, our parents, directly, yes, very often, very frequently. But then, of course, our friends, our close friends, do we see them often enough? Do we reach out? Do we know what's going on in their life? Do we talk? Do we have chances to catch up? I think that social structure, more than anything, especially during the big upheavals during my life, has made a big difference in how well I got through or came out of those revolutions or changes or challenges. So yeah, those are the things that I would consider when I talk about my health. I'll consider my financial well-being, my physical well-being, my mental well-being, my emotional well-being, and my social well-being. And sometimes people say, well, but financial is a bit of the odd one out in that list, right? I don't think so, because I think a lot of stress and worry and concern, which affects, at least 3 out of the other 4 indicators of well-being that I use, are affected by my financial situation. If there's constant stress about whether there's enough money to pay for rent or pay the mortgage or buy food or anything else, then maybe you don't sleep as well. You definitely maybe don't have time to train or eat as well. Your mood and temper might not be as good as you want them to be. You might feel emotionally restless, and you might not feel good about reaching out to people you care about because there might be shame or other things. So I think finances have such a disproportionately big impact on health and well-being that we also should consider it. I think in one of the podcasts I was listening to, they talked a lot about they reassessed the idea that people who are unhealthy don't have the willpower to do it, and the scientist said, well, actually willpower is just an indicator of financial status or poverty, meaning that people who maybe don't have the financial means or have an uncertain financial future make different decisions about their health and about the foods they eat than people who are in a different financial position. And I thought that was really interesting. So, health is more than looks. In fact, it has very little to do with looks at all. And if I think about it in depth, right, the way you look does not say anything about how healthy or fit you are. Now, I'm about to go on a walk, and during those walks, I was thinking the other days, are there any health benefits to walking? Well, I looked up an article, recent one from 2023. It's Harvard Business Review, so they summarize other research, but I've linked it in the description below, and I'll add more links there about my morning routine if you're interested in watching those. That talks about the benefits of walking. So here are 5 apparent benefits of walking that I wasn't that aware of. It apparently counteracts the effect of weight-promoting genes, meaning that there are some genes in your body that are related to weight gain, and walking apparently makes those less active, according to that article. It also helps tame the sweet tooth or reduces your craving. So going for a 20-minute walk makes you want to snack less throughout the day. That might be a bit counterintuitive, but I thought it was an interesting insight. It reduces the risk of developing, specifically they call out breast cancer here. I'm not sure about the research on that, but go have a read. And it eases joint pain. So by going out for a walk, if you have light joint pain, it might you might feel it a bit less. And this one I really liked is that it also seems to boost your immune function. So you're less likely to contract a cold and a flu, and when you contract them, you are sick for fewer days. It doesn't seem to be as sticky. There's a couple of benefits of simply walking that I wasn't aware of, but that struck me as interesting, as I'm now forced to walk for at least another 10 to 14 days until my shoulder heals and I can do other kinds of exercise again. So maybe I should just continue incorporating a walk into my morning routine if only I had the time to do all of those things. Let's see, we're coming up on 15 minutes, so I'm going to head out for my walk. Thanks for dropping by if you watched. Sorry it's not the full mobility routine. I hope I get back to that sooner rather than later for my own good. But remember, wherever you are, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you tomorrow.